What they do, y'all. How y'all doing out there? Hopefully you all had a productive week and all that great stuff, right? Tribe of Aces and Jewels. As you can see, I got somebody on deck. A new ace on deck, right? So I'm going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Marc-Land.
What's good, Marc-Land?
What's good, DP?
Hey, I appreciate you coming through.
Hey, you know what I mean? I'm here for it. So whatever questions you got for me, I'm here to answer it. Mm-hmm. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. And on that note, what we're going to talk about is getting to the bag, right?
Let's get to it.
Yeah, so you all sit back and enjoy, all right? What they do. This your boy DP.
This your girl T.
And we're the Geminis Gemz, representing for the Geminis across the world, giving our own Miami perspective.
For sure.
So you can follow us on all podcast platforms at Geminis-Gems.
Also follow us on Instagram, Geminis_Gems, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Geminis Gems.
Hey, make sure you like, follow, you comment, and you subscribe.
Yes.
And make sure when you type it in, it's Geminis with the S, Gems with a Z. And what we do, T?
Drop them gems.
Drop them gems. Okay, we back. So get into the bag, right? So the reason for coming up with the topic is because this man over here, right, Marc-Land, right? He's the man. He's the money man, right? So I was introduced to him and I understood I like his methodology when it comes down to getting to the money, having connections, and being able to point people in the right direction. All right. So what I got for you first is building wealth, right? We understand getting to the bag is building wealth, and that we have to have a certain type of mindset, right? Understanding how to build wealth. So I'm going to let you go ahead and give your spiel on it, bro.
Well, yeah. I mean, the mindset you got to have as far as building wealth, you got to speak it to existence and you got to have some type of discipline. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Really don't matter if you was, don't matter how you was brought up. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody was brought up different.
Right.
But it's all about the mindset and just having the discipline, knowing that you're speaking something into fruition and you're going to want to, make that happen. You know what I mean? You're going to work towards it to make it happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that would be the play on that. Right.
So on that note, I put down sacrifice. So what are some of the things that you will have to do in order to get to the wealth, get to the bag? What sacrifices would you have to make? Because some people, they feel like they can have the work-life balance. That's what they call it. But that's later on in life. Sometimes you have to literally sacrifice your time, like say with your family, with your friends, going out and different things. So what you think about that, bro?
No, honestly, that's true. You got to sacrifice a lot. You got to sacrifice spending time with family and friends. You got to sacrifice, treating yourself. You know what I mean? You just got to sacrifice. You got to, let me drop some on that too. You got to sacrifice a lot because of the fact that you already know what you want, and heading there is not going to be easy. You know what I mean? Because some of the times you're doing it by yourself with no help at all. So sacrifice sometimes come with suffering, but the grass is greener on the other side because you're going to see the fruits of your labor once you sacrifice and do what you have to do,
Okay, so on that note, making sacrifices even in relationships. Sometimes friends get, not thrown to the side, but they end up falling off, and what you got to say with that? Because sometimes friends will hold you back as well.
Yeah.
That's why, you have to sacrifice, time spending with them. But if they fall by the wayside, that's fine. You get what I'm saying? So give a little insight on that.
Yeah, well, when you sacrifice, I know you mentioned something about relationship as well.
Okay.
The thing with that is if you guys don't have a financial mindset together, then if you sacrificing by yourself,
It's in vain.
Right. It's not gonna go well.
Right.
You guys got to be on the same page as sacrificing. Like, hey, love, I'm I gotta work late. I gotta do this. I gotta do extra stuff. And your significant other, your partner, has to understand that you guys have to communicate and have a good understanding and balance on what's the priority, what is the main focus, and what are you guys are trying to accomplish. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's if you guys are not selfish and sticking to the plan, being together and do what you have to do. But you got to sacrifice a lot of stuff, and it's like cutting down on things, being mindful of spending, time, all that plays a lot because you're gearing your energy and time and focus on a certain thing that's, getting you the income that you need to be financially free and in the workspace, as far as not working for anybody, working for yourself. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you mentioned saving. And as you was talking, I wanted to talk about that real quick. Saving. You have to save, let's say, money in order to get to the next phase of your life. So before we go there, you also mentioned being basically not working for someone. But sometimes I believe you should work for, start a job and be able to work yourself up by saving, right? And then transition out of working under someone and start working for, because everyone think they can just jump off the porch and get straight into the streets, so to speak, right? But then it doesn't work that way.
Right.
So what you got to say with that?
No. I'm not discrediting anyone who's working a 9 to 5. Right. If that's your means to assist you with any type of entrepreneurship that you're trying to get into, by all means, do that. I mean, I'm not the person that's going to do that. Like, talk bad about someone working 9 to 5.
I agree.
I work a 9 to 5. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's about prioritizing and seeing what makes sense. Right. What are your goals? Are you trying to be there? Well, is it a career? Is it just a job? You gotta make the differentiation as far as what it is to you. You know what I mean? Because that lets you know, do you want to wake up in the morning and go there, or whenever, or don't do it at all. So, and you use your job as a leverage, right? Your job allows you to, make those type of finance is your dream, right? If you have your priorities in order, my bills got to get paid and such has to be done. Well, let me go ahead and now put towards my investment to get me to no longer have to work here. If that's your end all goal, right? Right. So your focus has to be on what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? We got to break whatever cycle we're in that's keeping us to not feeling like we should own our own and move in that direction.
Gotcha. So that also coincides with saving in order to get to the next phase in life. Let's say, for example, you want to open up, I'm gonna just throw something out there, a clothing business, right? So you have to work the 9 to 5 in order to save up to buy, let's say, inventory, get your logo and different things like that. And then from that, just to interpret what you were saying, you have to save up in order to get to that next phase. So listen, you dropping them to the point I don't even know where to go next, but but you're dropping them. But to make a transition to the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So I want you to expound on different ways that you see fit, even for yourself or for others, to start creating those streams of income. Because you're, to me personally, you think outside of the box. So I know that you have the capability. Okay, if this stream shuts down, that you can move on to the next, new wave of things. Right. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go in.
You know what they say. You always got to keep your ears to the streets.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that you could take it how you want to. You feel me? It could be stocks. It could be whatever it is. You know what I mean? So basically, how I build my stream of income is, of course, I'm working a 9 to 5, and I'm on my way to ending that.
Yep.
And I own a couple of properties that I get, rent from. So that income flows in monthly. And I do a lot of other investments, which is stocks, and I own a couple of shares of certain famous paintings. Like I'm all around, like just investing my money. My money don't sit in the bank, getting the regular interest rate that it would.
Right.
If the money's in the bank for me, I gotta invest it.
Gotcha.
I'd rather it invest and sell whatever shares that I own and whatever it is, and get the money on that.
Gotcha.
That way, because the interest rates on my investments are way higher than what the bank would offer.
That's what's up.
So yeah, for sure.
Gotta draw something for you.
For sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So on that note is I'm a landlord. I own a few properties and I manage them. I'm my own property manager, and so I'm getting monthly rent. I treat my tenants with the respect and everything they need, and I'm very straightforward with them as far as what's the outcome and what's needed. And
so, what triggered the for you to go into real estate?
Well, the funny story is, I was real young, right?
Okay. And
I probably was in my teens, like, 18, 19, maybe in my 20s. And I went out to eat one day.
Okay.
And then I approached this man with his lady. I was out to eat for dinner. And I asked him, because he was in a very nice car, you feel me? Mm-hmm. And I was young, and when I started going out, I wasn't going out in my particular area. I was going out in more high end places.
Yeah. So
when I started seeing those high end cars, I was like, I'm gonna just ask this guy, what did he do? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And God just wouldn't. He was brushing me off. Like, he wouldn't say anything. Like, he was just brushing me off. Oh, I'm about to eat dinner and da da da. I'm like, all right, cool. I was just trying to figure out what you do, because if it's something that I see that I'll like and I'm interested in, like,
you'll pursue it.
I'll pursue it and do my studies and whatever.
Right.
So I hit him up the first time and he brushed me off. So I was like, man, this dude driving a nice car. I don't know. It was probably like a it's probably like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, something like that. I really can't remember, honestly, but it was one of those.
Right.
And so the first time he brushed me off, the second time I was sitting eating, and then I seen him sitting. I was like, I was so eager to know, and because I was like, what is it like? I'm trying to figure out how can I be there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I went and asked him, and he was like, I'm a real estate agent. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I started looking into it, right?
Okay.
To the point where I actually went to a community college, and that was one of the classes that I took, was a real estate class to become a real estate agent, to sell properties.
Right.
So I attended the class, signed up for it and everything, registered for it, excuse me. And I was sitting there and I didn't understand what the professor was saying. It was a language barrier.
Okay.
At that.
Okay.
And I just couldn't understand, and I guess my ego was not allowing me to communicate with the other students to really be like, yo, what is he really talking? Like, I really don't understand this, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And me reading it on my own, if I'm in a class, I would want the professor, to explain it well enough for me to pick up the material to go ahead and do what I have to do. But it wasn't working like that. And I did ask, it wasn't clicking. I did ask fellow classmates, and the people that I asked, they look like they was lost too. So I ended up dropping the class. Long story short,
right.
So moving forward with that, years later, I started saving. One of my good friends, I actually call him my uncle now. He was like, yo, are you investing in your 401k in this job? I'm like, nah. He was like, you've been here for this long and you haven't invested in your 401k. I was like, I haven't. He was like, look into it, nephew. I was like, no problem. So I started looking into the 401k bump. I opened a 401k account, started saving with the company that I was working with.
Okay.
I was on the verge of leaving that company. By that time, Obama passed something where you can move your 401k to your other job that you're moving, transferring to, going to, or whatever the case may be. So I was like, I didn't really stunt that. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna cancel it and pay my fees, which I did pay a healthy fee. Paid my fee and I received some funds, right? So it was in my account for like a few months. And I was like, you know what? I really do want to do this real estate thing. You know what I mean? And I was telling myself that, talking to myself, praying to the Most High, talking to God and trying to figure things out. And I was like, I'm just going to take the jump. I'm not going to be scared. I'm just going to do it because, the only way you're going to know how are you good at something is just by trying, right?
Yep.
So basically,
dropping another one.
For sure, just by trying. So basically, I just, took the money, found the realtor. I hollered at another guy, a friend of mine. He was a realtor. So my thing was, I always want to put people that are close to me in position,
right?
To win, right. To get paid, or whatever the case may be. Right. So if you're my friend and you have a particular trade or whatever, trust me, I'm gonna call you because I'd rather deal with you because I know you. It makes the transaction and things more easier.
Yep.
I know some people say, well, you can't trust your friends or family because whatever, but I always get the benefit of the doubt. And if you do something, I'm going to holler at you. Yep. At the end of the day, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I just know that I have to, go a different route. But
right.
at the meantime, in between time, I'm just going to go with you because whatever. So that's just a touch on that. So I hollered at my guy, and he was like, yo, I don't even do real estate no more. I didn't renew my license, XYZ, but I have a realtor that I'll get you in contact with her, and she'll go ahead and help you out. He gave me the number. I hollered at her. But I was already ahead of the game because I had all my paperwork right, my credit's right. I was doing my own research for my properties. I already know what area I wanted. I already know around the amount that I'm looking for.
Right.
So I did all that research on my own. So when I got with her, when I contacted her and everything of that nature, she was like, well, you know what you want.
Yep.
She's like, you really know what you know. Like, she made it seem like I was just like a pro at, what I was doing. I was like,
well, you was focused.
I was focused. I was determined right, this was something right. that I wanted to do. Yeah. So she was just amazed by how I just took everything. All she had to do was just her part of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because she was getting all the documents on time, everything she needed. I never had her wait. So I ended up buying a few properties from her within a few months span.
Right.
And that was a blessing on that part. So that's how I got into the real estate aspect of it, and that's how I was able to get the funds from the 401k by canceling it. And I'm not telling you guys just to cancel your 401k. You can actually take from it. I would advise you to do that so you can pay your own money back in the 401k. And you'll still have it there to use for future things, and it could be anything that you want to use it for.
That's what's up. And then that helps you. That's why I say the saving.
For sure. That's part of
you
that.
give them the said working over a period of time and then being able to transition to another level.
Yeah.
That catapults you to another level. I love it. So you found your niche with real estate, right? So other ways, and what I put down was what are the people's niche? What are their lanes in order to create the streams of income? Because with the real estate, it's not just buying and selling. There can be many streams within real estate. And what I wanted to project out was the people's niches. Whatever niche that they're in, whatever lane that they're in, it can be tech, it can be real estate, it can be, some type of carpentry, or like I just found out about becoming a GC, a general contractor. How you're not just subject just to be building or doing carpentry type work, but also too you can be an inspector for buildings because you understand the foundational elements of structure. Right. So what if you can advise anyone to finding their niche, or how you discovered your niche? Right. Like, what are some of the things, what are some of the points that they can pick out from themselves to know that they're interested in? Because you took the class, right?
Right.
And then, let me start over. You first saw the car.
Right.
Right. And then it made you find out who car it was,
Right.
then ask the question and so forth.
Right.
So more. What you got to say with that? We're just finding the niche.
Yeah. So on finding niche, before we go into that, but I want to let people know I'm a real estate investor. I'm not a real estate agent. So me being an investor,
Okay.
I find properties, I buy it. I haven't started doing fix and flips yet.
Okay.
That I will get into that, but right now I'm holding for a long term. I'm not holding for a short term.
that idea.
I'm holding for a long term. So I'm a real estate investor. I'm not a real estate agent.
Right.
If you need an agent, holler at me. I get you who you need. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But as far as finding your niche, everybody want to be bosses. Everybody want to, honestly, truly,
That's honest.
everybody want to be a boss, right? Everybody want to wake up when they want to wake up, go on a vacation when they want to go on vacation, answer to no one.
Right.
So your niche is you already know what your niche is. It's what you want to do. It's what you feel happy doing.
Okay.
And honestly, your niche could be your career. It's whatever you're good at. If you're good at it, that's your niche. It don't matter what it is.
Right.
But then if there's a market for it where you can be profitable from your niche, go ahead, execute it.
Right.
Why not? And why not try? You know what I mean? I've seen plenty of stuff on social media platforms and YouTube of people showing off their niche, what they're good at.
Right.
It could be the awkwardest thing, the weirdest thing, but
Yep.
you look at the views or you see the comments, people are like amazed by it or intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the money rolling in at, right? So
Right.
the more views, the more money you get, the more however that works. But you see the point. So it's based on what do you like to do.
Okay.
And honestly, you make a lane for it. People be like, okay, well, what niche is that? Like what hobby is that? How's that gonna bring you money? Well, you have to take it a step, beyond and show that this matters, because if you're thinking about it, trust me,
somebody
else is thinking about
I
it.
believe that.
This is true.
Yes.
This is true. So why not do it?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt to try.
Facts.
You know what I mean? If you're not dumping money into it and all that, and you don't need a lot of money to do a lot of these things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You really don't.
Other people money. You can use
OPM, you definitely can use other people's money for
Right.
sure. But you just have to leverage, credit. If you don't want to use, your money, of course, you leverage credit and things of that nature, and that's gonna get you, using other people's money and stuff of that nature.
So speak on that real quick. Using other people's money, leveraging your credit.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because I see that people say, "Well, I don't spend none of my money. I can just easily swipe my card and then let whatever that, let's say that niche is, to pay for the credit card just to start the business."
Right.
So speak on that real quick, because that's another stream of income. Well, that income does come in.
Right.
You just have to first make the purchase without using your money.
Right.
Because some people don't go to school. Some people are not going to go and get the 9 to 5 in order to save up to get. So
True.
they find little ways, to find other people money or another. Because like I think I heard of a story, and I don't think I heard of a story that an individual they knew someone that was looking for a house.
Mm-hmm.
And so they knew someone that was selling the house. They just end up getting money just by knowing the individuals, and putting them together. So, go ahead and expound on that real quick.
Yeah, I mean,
Using other people. Yeah.
Yeah, cash is king. Everybody know that, right?
Right.
So we all grew up by that, and it's always been money, power, respect.
Right.
So it's definitely good to have cash, definitely. But it's even better to have credit, so you can offset, the cash, and you don't have to use it, and you offset it by credit, because you can let's use a purchasing a car, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go to a dealership, they run the credit. So you already know you have poor credit, you put something down.
Okay.
You have good credit, you're walking out with the keys and putting nothing down.
Right.
Now, here's another thing.
Okay.
You can't put money down if you have good credit, because now you're even making your monthly payments even way lower than what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Right? So now you killing two birds with one stone. That's what you're doing, because now you got good credit and you're putting a little bit money on it, so it'll be way lower. A lot of us don't take advantage of that. A lot of us just, okay, I got good credit, my payment's low already. The money I would put on there, I'm gonna go do something. You can do that. Do something else with it, whatever the case may be. You can do that because you're leveraging your credit. And leveraging your credit, it goes off property as well, because you still got to get with a lender. They still got to run your credit, and they're going to give you, the interest rate and things of that nature. Whatever the interest rate is, and depending on the financial institution that you're going with.
Right.
But you can, once again, you get a good interest rate. You feel like you want to put more down than what's already been mentioned. It helps you in the long run, right? It makes the time of paying it shorter, or the amount shorter. Well, I should say the amount shorter. The time paying it shorter, it will be throughout the months, putting more to the principal than anything. That'll make it shorter. As far as if it's a fixed, this is a fixed interest rate. Yeah. Yep. So that's the way you can just leverage your credit. You can leverage your credit a lot of stuff. You can start your business with just credit. All these things, from signing up registering your business with SunBiz and all this stuff. It don't have to come out your pocket. It can come off. You can pay with a credit card, and with that credit card, it takes, if it's not American Express where you got to pay right then and there, every month. If it's another credit card, you definitely can use that and stretch it until your business start, making its, profit, or whatever the case may be, and start, paying those payments off. So then, you really didn't use your money. You definitely used whatever finance institution money it was that they lent you.
Right.
You used it. Right. And then when you started getting the money back, if it's profit or not, if you break even for the meantime, you're just paying it back so you can score higher and get all the inventory, whatever it is that you need to make things happen. So that's how you can leverage your credit.
Gotcha. One thing I thought about was, as we were talking about finding your niches, you mentioned what I heard was changing your atmosphere. Now we learning how to use other people's money, right? Now, let's say we're trying to build a relationship with individuals as we're learning, like when you go to the bank and you sit down with not the teller, but let's say the representative, or you sit down with the individual that does the underwriting. Now you know them by name, Adam, let's say, right? Now you can start to change your atmosphere, because some people don't think about that. That's how they can meet different people. You get what I'm saying?
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. This is how you change your atmosphere. So finding your niche can put you right in place in order to create the income. And you really brought that out. I don't even think you noticed, but as you were talking, that's what you allowed me to think about, changing the atmosphere by introducing yourself when you talk to the creditors, the real estate agent, the person that makes the clothing. Let's say if you have a clothing business, a new carpenter, a new GC, you get what I'm saying? Depending on where you are at, you get what I'm saying? So what you got to say with that, bro?
It's funny you say that. I always tell people around me to, as far as that, your financial institution, definitely build a relationship with them. Because, man, I tell you, by me going there almost every day, like, I do a lot of my stuff on my phone, on apps, right? I transfer money. I don't have to go to a bank at all.
Yep.
But when I'm making big, like, I have to take big money out, I'll make a call, or I'll go there the day before. I'll go there that morning early top of the morning, and I'll speak to somebody they see me constantly, and they call me by the first name basis.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Marc-Land and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, okay. They start calling Mr. Crisp. I'm like, you don't got to call me by my last name. Marc-Land is fine. Right. So, hey, Mr. Marc-Land, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. So me building relationship with. And I'm building a relationship with everybody because we're all human beings. We all want to be treated equally and be respected. Everybody, for sure.
Yes.
Everybody deserve that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it's not like I'm trying to finesse the people that work there because they got to do a job. You feel me? It. But it's just like, just being genuine with them. And I go to certain banks a lot. So they used to see in my face. And it's not about issues that I have with, this credit card ain't working or this debit card ain't working, stuff like this, because I'm making big transactions. And I want to know before I make these big transactions or pull out big money out, I have it at a reasonable time to pay, the contractors and things of that nature, because, some of them, do it in that way where they take those type of payments. And trust me, that goes so far because those people, they see it ain't really no funny business, and they see that you're just a business person that's just trying to get things done, and just by you being yourself with them, and they see that you're genuine. Like I've done had, and I done had times where they'll tell somebody that, oh, you can't take out that much money, right?
Yep.
But I'm taking twice as much as that out. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
because of the relationship.
Because of the relationship, you know what I mean? And it's not to, talk bad on anybody or whatever. Right. But, once you build that relationship with your teller or whomever, and they know they just know. They just know. And they feel comfortable, and they just want to help you out as much as possible. And it's not like they showing favoritism. Oh, it's because you got money, they helping you out more, and they won't help the regular. No, they help everybody out. But at the end of the day, they just, you're bringing that atmosphere that they love, and that's just what I do. When I go, I greet everybody, I talk, I'm being polite. And it's not because I need anything from them, because they could say, no, Marc-Land, I can't assist you with that right now.
Right. And sometimes they go out of the way where they will assist you. Let's say, for example, I'm going to use an example.
For sure.
Let's say a person just started the job and that new teller position or representative, and they walk in the bank and they know the rules, right? So they may give you a hard time. Let's say when you walk in and you want to make a big transaction. So now you're sitting down with this newer teller. You introduce yourself, but they don't know the type of business that you have had in the past. Right. So some of the people that know who you are and know that you do good business will come in and they'll say, hey, listen, this is Mr. Marc-Land.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then from there, they'll be able to, okay, I can put my little guards down, and they kind of bend the rules because
just a little bit.
Right. and that, I think that's good business.
Right. It is.
At the end of the day. You got something more to say?
No, because just to piggyback what you're saying, because that could happen to, let's say, that could happen to people on their high horse, right? Because they be like, oh, I'm entitled.
Facts.
And you don't know me. You need to know me. Act so-and-so. And then, like, well, why do all that? You know what I mean? Because, and then you threaten, like, oh, I'm going to remove my accounts and my money and stuff like that. Like, why do all that? So if that was to happen to me,
I like that.
Yeah, if that was to happen to me, it is what it is. They don't know me from a can of paint, and that's fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just gonna still talk to them and see if there's like, oh no, we can't. You can't take out this amount and you can't do this and this. I'm like, all right, that's fine, And then I'm like, let me speak to your supervisor, because 9 times out of 10, when I go there, the person that the people that I work with, either they'll take me. They already know.
They'll say, have me. I got them.
Right. Either they'll have me wait until they're free and they can take me, or they'll send me to somebody and they'll go ahead and not intercept, excuse me. They'll go ahead and assist.
Yep.
With that, so they can know that this is somebody that that we help out.
Yeah, we take care of.
Right. Because I'm bringing my money here and I'm referring people, and you know what I mean. So of course, you want to keep that business and that relationship, and that's all this is about. You know what I mean? It's about keeping a relationship, because they know if I'm happy going there and I'm bringing this type of money to the financial institution, that I'm going to bring my fellow comrades with that type of money to that financial institutions. So it pretty much works like that, you know?
Okay, gotcha. So I put down several habits that some people either neglect or we indulge into too much, right? I say charity. Right, some form of charity. Making money, get into the bag, we still have to do some type of charitable work, right? Giving back, or however a person can see fit, as well as spending too much money. Right. You get what I'm saying? Because we think we already made it. Right. And getting to the bag doesn't mean you got the bag right then and there. You gotta know when you have the bag. Right. So let it drop, bro.
So yeah, as far as you want to give back, you know, I've been thinking about opening up my own charity and try to give back to the community for sure. I did some readings on the Black Panther movement. I've studied it, and I seen how they did it back in the days, and of course other nonprofit organizations, and seeing how they move and what they do for the community. So I definitely want to do something like that once I get to that stage where I'm able to, because that's what it's about. Like, I don't want to have so much on my plate, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So definitely when I know I can be able to assist, I'm definitely jumping in there. I have other friends who they do it on either a yearly basis or whatever, but they do it, and I do contribute to it. So I definitely want to do something on my own and have people contribute to, you know, my movement and what I'm trying to accomplish on that end. But definitely it's always good to give back, and honestly I give back in other ways, you know. Yeah, financially I give back to when somebody's in need or whatever the case may be, but information, you know, I don't never hold none of my information for sure.
Yes,
I never hold none of my information to myself, you know what I mean? There's no point in it don't benefit me none, you know. So I'm always getting calls, I'm always meeting with people, and as far as giving them, you know, some advice or what would I do. I'm not no financial advisor or anything of that nature, but I've invested a lot of money into whatever you think of. It could be art, land, farming, real estate, you know, stocks, bonds. I've put my money in a lot. I see what makes me the most money. I see what doesn't make me the most money. I see where my money's more secure at. I see where I lose most of my money at. But I can give you advice, you know. I don't want to say a guideline, but I give you advice on far as, and then you just go with it what you feel, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with, because, you know, I'm not watching no man's pocket or one man's pocket.
I agree.
So I just let you, you know, I give you the advice, you take it how you want it. You know, I give you suggestions, and I always let you know if it was me, this what I would do. You know, so I don't know if that's what you'll do. I don't know your tolerance of your risk level, whatever, but I'll let you know. If I had X amount of dollars, this what I do. You know, if I was in that position, this what I would do. And because I've been doing it, you know.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So just speaking on that, you know, I went from the charity and just speaking on assisting people and as far as giving information, and that's giving back as well. You know, we just got to help each other out. You know, is keeping the information to ourselves. You know, that mentality should be washed away, because everybody want to close the generational gap, and everybody wants to, you know, build generational wealth, and that's what we're on. You know, like I said, I'm always on the phone. I'm always texting someone. I'm always in a meeting. I'm always, you know, just whatever somebody want to, you know, present. I'm hearing it out. You know, I'm doing my research as well at that particular time, just to see, okay, how can you go about this and execute it, you know, because that's what I do. I look into it. I see, you know, how should I go about something to execute it the best as I can? Do I need assistance? Can I do it on my own? What finances do I need? Where my credit has to be at? You know, I do all these research and things of that nature just to make sure that I'm just ahead of the game,
yeah.
so I can succeed, because that's the main goal.
I think a lot of people don't do enough studying. I think sometimes we just jump off the porch and just dive straight in. Mm-hmm. Whereas to answer the next question, which was spending of the cash, right? So sometimes we spend too much when we could have spent a little if we had did the research, right? Mm-hmm. So let it drop, bro.
Well, it's funny, because there's sometimes where you didn't do the research, but you're doing the research and it's not leading you into that direction. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because it's so much information out there, and
so
it really is so much information out there, and to find the information that's accurate to what you're looking for may not even be the right information. You know what I'm saying? So you out here looking at something thinking that is it, because it to you reading it, it's like, oh, yo, this is legit.
It gotta make sense.
So it gotta make sense, because this is what I'm getting into. Mm-hmm. They throwing facts in, but it might not lead you into the financial part of it where that's what it takes.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, do your research. If you can find a mentor, get a mentor. Mm-hmm. If you have here's another thing.
Okay.
A lot of people take advice from people that don't do what they trying to do.
You ain't even doing it.
Look, man. I yo, a lot of people do that. Please stop doing that. Stop doing that. And that goes for anything. Right now, this just speaking on financial, right?
Right.
But that goes for anything. If you're married, why would you be taking marital advice from your single friend?
Or the one that was just divorced after 6 months.
Like we just got to do better, right?
I agree.
Everybody. This
agree.
ain't a black or white,
Facts.
Hispanic, anything, right?
Facts.
This is just, we have to do better as humans, right?
I agree.
You're taking advice from people that not doing what you're doing, which, they not knowing the advice they giving you is hurting you or hindering you from doing what you're wanting to do, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm doing real estate, right? I own these properties, and I have somebody who don't own their property, they rent, right? So I have tenants. They are a tenant, and they don't own anything. Because you can still own something and be a tenant.
Right.
You definitely can do that. You can
Definitely.
own several properties and be a tenant somewhere else. But you have the mindset, and you already know where you're renting, you know how it goes. So when you get the sign the lease and all that, you already know that. You already know the lingo, you know the paperwork, you read over it, be like, okay, they on point. Okay, I'm gonna sign, I'm gonna stay here for either it's month to month or 6 months or a 12-month term, whatever the case may be, lease. So you're telling me how I should run my property. You're renting and you have HOA. Somebody else telling you how to run your property. How do it make sense me taking that advice? Think about it. Like, I understand if that's something you want to get into, I get it. That's a different story. That we should talk on a different level. But how would I be able to take advice from you? You know what I mean? Yep. I would rather want to see you own where you at, and then you're giving me advice. I don't even care if you owned it and lost it and foreclosed, whatever the case may be.
Well,
but at least you give me a little something,
right? Because of that lesson learned. Yep.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And I'm receptive.
But you never.
But if you never, and then I'm doing this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to do this and this and this. Like, well, if I were you, if it was me, well, bro, I get you. But you not me.
I hear you. At that point, it's just going straight in and out.
I mean, we got to just do better with that. You know what I mean? I definitely want people to give people advice on stuff that you done been through.
Right.
Because it makes it better.
Right.
It makes it it stand on something.
Right. And you speaking of that made me think about like our YouTube channel. Like, people can say, hey, Dwayne, you should do this, that, and the third. Bro, you haven't even been interviewed yet. You don't even know what the production is like. The process is like, it's good looking at and making a judgment. But actually doing it, you know how to critique. You get what I'm saying? You know how to curtail, to build, you know. Oh, this is the reason why you're not getting enough followers or whatever. Bro, how many followers do you have?
Right.
You know? Right. And so that's understanding that I'm under, like, this is what I'm growing into when it comes down to money. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can listen to a fool, you're going to be foolish. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you listen to a person that actually has the knowledge and you will gain the success.
For sure.
You know? So I want to speak on spending frivolously, right? Just spending money ridiculously. Right. And how do we, if you want to get to the bag, this is my word of advice.
Go ahead.
If you want to get to the bag, you can't be spending money. You can't buy them new J's that just keep dropping unless you got a real connect that means getting it for free. Right. Or you can't spend money on like lavish trips and stuff. And I say that right now if you don't already have it. Like me, I know what I have. So there's things that I know I can do and things I know I cannot do. I am not going out of town, let's say, every single month. But I can do probably 1 or 2 trips, maybe 3. Depends on how my year goes. Right. You get what I'm saying? But just trying to tie that down into you giving your interpretation. Let it drop, bro.
Yeah, all that plays into discipline. You gotta have discipline.
I love it.
You gotta have discipline.
I love it.
You gotta have
and saying no.
And saying no, you gotta have discipline. Your priorities have to be that. Having discipline, knowing what I have to do and what my end goal is. It takes knowing what your priorities are and what is your main focus.
Gotcha.
So once you have that, you're able to set everything aside accordingly. If it's the trips, if it's the sneakers, if it's the ladies, the bags or the outfit, whatever it is. Once you start putting that into perspective. And you start dissecting and knowing like, okay, this is what I need to do. Write it down, jot it down somewhere that you can see it all the time to refer back to it. Like this is my goal. This is what I need to do. So in order to stop me from spending so much, I have to cut back on certain things.
Right.
You don't even know, like, to cut back on buying coffee every day. Like cut back on that, buying you one of those little coffee maker machines in your crib, and you buy the patch, whatever it is. See, I don't drink them like that or whatever the case may be, but I know about it.
Right.
And then you buy that. So now you buy the coffee maker, and then you buy your teas or your coffee. Now imagine how much money you done saved.
Yeah.
And then you're buying them in bulks, your little coffee things. You already got your machine and you're using water.
So I always tell people this story. I met a young lady and she wanted to buy a house. So she told me to look at her budget. So I looked at it. I said, man, you spend a lot of money. I think it was 3 things: her hair, nails, and coffee. Because she was a cooker. But she always had to get her hair done, let's say, almost every week.
Okay.
And nails almost seemed like every 3 days. And I was like, if you just save up so that you can have a hairstyle, let's say within 2 weeks, for example, right? You can save probably $300 right there, as well as buying coffee literally every day, twice a day. And be in a month's time, I said, just give it a month. She was able to save over $1,000. And then within 6 months' time, she was able to accomplish her goal. Okay. Right now, the economy crashed. She's able to buy a house now.
Nice.
She got a you know how they say bang for your buck.
Right.
She got a bang for her buck.
Good.
She had ended up purchasing the house, and literally the money she had to put, the money she saved was good enough for her to put down, as well as furnish her house.
Nice.
You get what I'm saying?
Nice.
So it was like, yeah, she was, Thank you. And I was like, it really wasn't me. You just had to see it.
Right.
You know? So go ahead and let it drop with that, bro.
No, first and foremost, congratulations to that young lady.
Yep.
You know, definitely kudos to you. And we're going to drop some gems for that.
Definitely.
That's good. You know what I mean? You know, you got to know how to budget, right?
Facts.
And if you don't, you know, like I tell everybody, YouTube University, go to it. It'll teach you. It'll teach you wonders. You know what I mean? Because I learned a lot of things from YouTube.
Gotcha.
Honestly,
Yep.
and it's on real estate and everything else that you think of. So, you know, budget, discipline. You know, and if you're in a relationship, communication. You know, those all play big factors. But if you're not in a relationship, like I said, if you're in a relationship, you know, you definitely want to budget and discipline. You got to know what is a necessity, what you need, wants, and you got to differentiate those and know what is more important that you don't have to do without, or you know, you want to do this meal prepping or whatever the case may be to cut costs, because that's what you want to do to get to whatever goal it is, to save and to be that entrepreneur and have money. You know, if your leveraging credit doesn't work, now you have the cash to assist you to make these particular purchase that needs to be done for your business.
So you mentioned real quick, you mentioned about cutting costs, and what have grown into is not just cutting costs, but increasing your income. So picking up the side hustles.
Yeah.
I saw an interview with a millionaire. Actually, somebody else was being interviewed, and they saw during the interview, they saw a millionaire that they knew personally was a millionaire, was a servant at an event. And they like literally cut the interview and went to say, no, you don't need to interview me. You need to interview him. And they was confused, like, but he has on the regular, you know, attire of a servant, because he wanted to wait the tables.
Don't let the looks fool you now.
Listen.
Don't let it.
Listen.
Don't let it.
So with this being said, so when they started to interview the guy, they was like, well, why are you, sir? He's like, because and it actually he was a sponsor of the event. So he could have been there with his tuxedo on, you know, doing that, but he didn't want to do that.
Right.
And one of his ideologies, if I can put it together, was that he never want to put himself higher than, you know, what he think, you know, of himself. So he just didn't want to be out there like, just let me try to put it in better terms. So he didn't want to be out there just to say, like, to have his ego to be stroked.
Right.
You know, he wanted to work hard, like show other people that they can dumb it down so he can work hard to do the job that other people would not want to do. Right. He was willing to do it, which motivated the workers. Because they knew exactly who he was. They knew he was the boss, but he was in the kitchen in the back preparing the, you know.
For sure, that happens all the time.
Yeah. So I love that. So just also increasing. So that's what I was thinking about. Sure. Increasing instead of minimizing your expenses, because sometimes we, you know, every year I notice, even having my own, that the expenses always increase.
Yes, it does.
You know, so it may be $25 or it may be $350. It's going to increase. So sometimes I have to get in the mindset, instead of cutting, let me increase my income. So if I have to pick up another job or just go and work an overtime shift, this is what I have to do in order to get to the level that I want to get to. Because I believe every millionaire is thinking about that. Well, it may not be 7 streams. Now it probably has to be like 9 streams now. Yeah. So go ahead, drop it, bro.
No, for sure. Definitely, the more streams, the better. You know, I'm actually looking to, you know, renting cars out. Looking to assisted living, and I'm looking into a lot of more things to bring more streams of income. So definitely, it's time, and even if I'm, you know, with certain things, I'm going into partnerships. So you definitely have to, you know, now it's not on you. You have to wait for the team to get on board and everybody to be on one page and one sound. So, I'm definitely moving, really just acknowledging everything that's going on in my surroundings. So it's funny that you say that because like we said, having multiple streams of income.
Right.
I actually threw a couple of parties with other partners of mine.
All right, pause. Right. This boy parties was lit. You hear me? That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. If you was there, you already know what time
you missed
it is.
the treat.
Yeah. You really did. You really did. Let's drop some gems for that party because the parties we threw pool parties back to back.
Yes,
like a
did.
3-month span.
Yeah.
We threw them back to back and people showed out. We had our regulars and we had more people that showed out. And but like I was mentioning to you guys before, I was that guy that was assisting everybody. I was getting bottles. The people that know that it was my party, they already know, and I was just helping them out. And the people that didn't know it was my party, I was still helping them out. Like, and I wasn't throwing out, "Oh, this is my party. Are y'all good?" No, it's more like, "Hey, you good? You need anything?" And it was from men to women. I wasn't showing no discrimination, being more on the women and being more friendly and flirtatious and stuff like that than being real like stiff to the guys. No, I was being equally
versatile,
being equally friendly or whatever with whomever it was, because the thing is having that good customer service and showing them that this is somewhere they should be. If we throw another one and it'll be like, we'll come because of this guy. Guy, he made sure we had our ice, we had our cups, we had our chasers, our drink. He made sure we was good. He let us know the food was here. Like, I was making sure everybody was good. You know what I mean? And
hospitality was on point.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Even with you saying that, I reflect. Yeah. Somebody did come and say, "Well, who is this guy? Because he's just all over the place." I said,
sure.
And I said, "Well, that's the host of the party." And she was like, "No way." I said, "Yes."
Yeah.
I said, and she was very impressed.
Right.
Off of that, because she didn't understand. Like you wasn't all over the place. You was actually doing what you was, I say, supposed to do as a host, showing hospitality,
For
right?
Sure.
And she really enjoyed watching you, go throughout the party, making on each end.
For sure.
From the high class end to the even just from the people that were standing at the bar.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? You was all around. So I definitely let's just drop a gem for your hospitality.
Appreciate it.
Hospitality overall.
Yeah.
You got anything more you want to say with just the positioning, even if you was to give advice to other individuals that are on their high horse? Because I always believe in the humbling experience.
For sure.
Like staying humble regardless of your position. Like I can have $1 million in the bank, but I'm not going to act like it. Like, I'm going to sit back and relax and I love to play the lower part. Because I like to be the guy behind the scenes. I don't need to be in front. I try to push other people in front, especially in front of me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So what you got to say with it? Let it drop, bro.
No, I mean, you just got to follow your passion, your heart, what inspires you. You know what I mean? What makes you wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? You just got to do that. You got to stay true to yourself.
Right.
It's not, I know we're talking about getting the bag and all that, but that starts with you.
Yep.
How are you going to get the bag?
Yep.
What is your vision? Are you going to have tunnel vision? Are you going to be distracted? What are your distractions? So you can know you got to move, past that. You have to know yourself. You don't know one that know you well. I know a lot of people like, "Oh, I know him so well. I know you so good that I know what your next move is." You shouldn't let people shouldn't know that, because God made each one of us individually.
Yep.
That's it. So you know exactly what you're on this earth to do. Even if you don't know right now and you're just doing things, you don't know if that is your purpose.
Facts.
So you got to go based on what you feel, deep down inside, how you feel. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry about to cut you off. I'm not trying to be spiritual or anything of that nature and push my beliefs and things to anyone. I just know how I'm brought up and what I do and what gets me up in the morning and things of that nature. So I just know how to dissect everything and move accordingly to the beat of my own drum. Right. You know, and trust me, I'm not a rebel on it. Like he don't take information and he doesn't da da da. No, I do my research and I ask who's in that position. Like, so let's say if I'm about to do a podcast right now, right? Because I did a podcast with one of my homies and he interviewed me as well. Right. And shout out to him and whatnot. And you know, I did his podcast, right? And I'm doing this one now, right? Now, let's say if I want to do a podcast, I'm not just going to up and do it, right? I'm going to go to these two guys that had me on their show that already did it, who's seasoned, and I'm going to ask them, yo, you know, somebody said, oh, yeah, I had family members actually from my first podcast I did, my first interview was like, was that your interview? I'm like, nah, this man's this name on everything. It's not my podcast. Like, they was like, oh, you should do your own podcast. I'm like, you know what? That's not my lane, or that's not something that I'm you know, looking into doing. Like, I'll do the interviews and things of that nature, because if my guy's reaching out to me, I'm there. 100. You set it up, I'm there. Schedule's clear for it. But now, this is something they do, and I appreciate what you are doing and everything of that nature. And I told you this behind the camera, and I'm telling you here, I appreciate what you do. You guys do what you guys do, bring up these topics and everything of that nature, but you guys going in with your guts. Like, you guys are going into it, you know what I mean? You guys are putting hard work into this, because you guys are editing, coming up with questions, doing your own producing. Like, I'm seeing the work that's going into this, and it ain't easy. It ain't. So I can't just, you know, this ain't what I do, this ain't my forte, and I just come in here and like want to be like, oh yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna start a podcast. Like, what that means, I gotta get all the equipment. I gotta start studying stuff that I did. Not saying that it's hard, but now look at the work. It's a process. Now look at the work that I gotta put into it, which I'm already doing XYZ. Right? And I got XYZs lined up. After I'm done with this, I got other stuff that's lined up. So now I'm putting podcasts in the mix, because I just want to do it. You know what I mean? Just to do it. You got to have a purpose. If that's your niche, if that's your thing, go for it. And I'm not knocking nobody hustle that feel like, yo, I want to do this. I want to try it out. Definitely try it out, because you never know if that's meant for you until you try it out. You know what I mean? And even if somebody telling you, hey, you'll be good at it, and you're like, nah, I'm not good at it. If you want to try it out, try it out. But it's just like, you know, you just got to know yourself. Nobody know you better than you, and that's what I'm referring to. So that will let you know what your niche are and how you can get the bag, because once you start doing something you love, you know you can wake up in the morning and enjoy doing it and do it all the time. Opposed to this ain't something you love and you getting up in the morning and it's just bringing you a check. The feelings is different. You know, once you understand that, you'll see what the feelings are. Try it out. You're working. Let's say you're working now, and you're doing something that you're doing it because of paycheck. Now you're doing something that you're more passionate about. You take more pride in. You'll see how it outweighs itself. You can be like, God damn, I can't wait till I leave. You know what I mean? You're gonna get to that point because you know what you're passionate about. But then you need to assist what you're working is gonna, provide. You know what I mean? So. That's what I gotta tell the people. You know what I mean? Just follow your instincts, stay true to yourself, and what you feel that you're good at, because that's what's actually gonna bring you the most revenue and enjoyment as well. Enjoyment as well, for sure.
Also, what I was gonna say was purpose. That's a life purpose. I think all of us need to learn how to fulfill in life. What is your purpose? Walking in it. So I wanted to ask I would say funny. It's not a funny question. It's on a lighter note. Let me use that as the transition. So on a lighter note, right before we end, I say that everybody wants to get to the bag. Like the majority of people wants to get to the bag, right? But could you really enjoy the bag when you get it? Do you know how to spend the money? Like if you get a large lump sum of money, can you really handle the money? You know, so I wanted to ask you that, so you could just give your spill on it. Yeah, let it drop, bro.
Well, you know what? It's crazy you say that, because I was just speaking with somebody the other day, and it was like I was telling them, like, if you can't handle the riches on this earth in this world, how you gonna handle the riches that God has for you in heaven, right?
Right. Okay.
So that goes to by saying this, right?
Okay.
You got to be able to just know how to manage things. You got to know how to manage it. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you're getting, you got to know how to manage it, because more would come. You just got to know how to manage it. I know we make mistakes.
Yep.
Mistakes happens.
Yep.
We blow a bag as quick as we get it. You
So
know, it
true.
happens. I've done did it. I done did it plenty of times, and I done bounced back because of the fact that, you know, I was like, yo, you know what you was doing, bro. Like, tighten up. You know better. If anybody, you know better. So it's like I'm talking to myself, like coaching myself, like,
Facts.
hey, what you did, Marc-Land? My bad. Like, you know how it is. You know,
Yeah.
I done seen it, but you know you're not supposed to be doing that. Like, I feel you.
Talking
But
to the man in the mirror.
that's exactly what I was doing. So, but it happens though. You know, sometimes you got to check yourself, because
Facts.
you in that moment and you feeling yourself, or you already know you got it, but you definitely gotta humble out and gotta reevaluate everything.
Facts.
Always gotta check that, and you gotta check your emotion on spending. You just got to do a lot of that stuff, because, you know, just like people have emotional eating, whether eating nonstop, if it's a breakup or loss of job, income, whatever the case may be, it's stuff like that with spending. You know, I have a cousin of mine. This dude, he can't stop shopping. You know what I mean? He makes it, but he just can't stop. You know what I mean? He got to get the newest, latest, everything. And he does. We talking about jewelry to clothing to
Even the
to
phones.
sneakers. He's on top of it. You know what I mean? But he does have that. He does have the income to provide that. You know, he does have the finances to provide that. And I'm not knocking it. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking it. He can do it. You know what I mean? Because if he couldn't, he wouldn't, to put himself in any type of debt. But he's doing it. You know, so but you got to be comfortable, and you got to understand, like, you know what your purpose is, but you got to understand if it's you're putting a financial aspect of your purpose, right? Because your purpose could be anything, but you know, right now we're just speaking
Never
of the
heard
financial.
that, but I like that.
But you just got to have a what's the purpose of me doing all this? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, a lot of stuff that you see, like the cars, the fancy cars, and the clothes and all that. Tax advantages for tax write-offs, because it's for your business image and stuff like. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. So you can see your favorite rappers or celebrities or just a regular Joe Schmo on the street, you know, pushing something fly or whatever, or dressing fly. You don't know what that, you know, how that's coming about, or what is that doing for that individual. You know what I mean? Because it could be that it is a part of their whole entrepreneurialism, and what they're trying to do and what they're trying to push out. They got to have this image, you know what I mean? And that goes to their purpose, because they got to go to they're trying to go to their goal. They're trying to reach their goal. And you know, some people got to get it by all means necessary, and some people it's not like that. Some people are gradually and genuinely getting there. You know what I mean? Not stepping on nobody or treating anybody any type of way to get there. But definitely, and a lot of people just don't know their purpose. You know what I mean? But like I said, we're just keeping this on a financial tip. I don't want to go on to those particular topics, but financially, whatever your purpose is, you got to set that purpose. If it's a new car, or if it's a brand new house, or if it's upgrading the kitchen, or whatever the case may be, you just got to know what's the purpose, what is it good for, what is the value in it, and what is going to be helping me or my family, or whatever it is I'm going to rent out. But you just got to determine that.
Right. So I would say that a lot of people cannot handle. They may want the bag, right, but they cannot handle the bag overall. You get what I'm saying? So if they win $1 million, whoever they are as an individual will come out. You get what I'm saying? So just
I've
in
heard
that
that.
aspect of like, let's say if the person is a friendly person or a giving person, they're going to give the majority of the money away. If they're like self-centered, self-driven, well, not self-driven, but selfish as an individual, they're going to do more of that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
The more of the flexing, the more of like just pushing people to the side, overstepping them and going to a different level, as well as, let's say you're going to be the connector. You get what I'm saying? Of people putting like a network of things together.
For sure.
So when you get that type of money, you're going to just be a better version of who you are as you are right now.
Got
So if people love you right now, they're going to even love you the more, and more people will love you, later on in life. So I appreciate you coming on,
sure.
getting to the bag. So if you have anything else you want to say that you may have not gotten out just yet, go ahead and let it drop, bro.
I'm not trying to be here just to put all my business on Front Street or whatever the case may be. But
Okay.
definitely like telling everybody, just do what you want to do. Definitely want everybody to be happy. At the end of the day, want everybody to strive for their goals and achieve them as much as possible. And definitely want everybody to get that bag. Whatever getting the bag means to you. You know what I mean? Definitely want you to secure it as well and not lose it. Don't fumble it. We make mistakes, but learn from your mistakes. We take L's, but learn from those L's. Learn from those, and those L's could be not only losses, but they could be lessons as well. So
Love that.
sure.
I love that.
For sure. So as long as we understand that and we have a good understanding of that and not blaming anybody and pointing any fingers, we got to take accountability for us and what we do, as individuals, as human beings. But we definitely want to make sure that, our finances in order. We don't have to be like, oh, I'm money hungry and I want this and you should have this. No, everybody should have a good understanding and a good friendship with finances. That should be your best friend. Which and finances goes with credit and understanding the budget. All that goes to play. All that correlates together, right? So correlates together. Excuse me. So we definitely want to get a good understanding, and we definitely want to do our research and just be the best versions that we can be pertaining to that. Because. They say money is the root of all evil. Then they say money makes the world go around. Like you got to know what it is for you and what you're trying to do. And I'm hoping that is to make sure that it's for the legacy and for yourself and your family, and just make sure everybody's well off when you're not present anymore to take care of them financially.
I love the fact that you brought that up, and I didn't have that written down, but just real quick, leaving a legacy, or just creating the bag,
right,
in order to leave for your family.
For sure.
What about
that's very important. Like, I'm not living for the day. Like I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I don't care about what's fly, whatever, because I'm always fly if you see me. And I'm not trying to be cocky, but I'm there. And I'm still that person. But it's it comes out when it comes out. But I'm not here for now. You know what I mean? I'm here for what I can leave. You know what I mean? For my child. Right. That's what I'm doing it for. I'm not doing it for me. I've been here. Yeah. I've been here for X amount of years. I'm not gonna say I done seen it all. Whatever the case may be. Nah, like I already know what's more important. What's more important than me right now? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm working towards. Making sure that it's established, and that goes with trust, a living trust, and just protecting it with LLCs and everything of that nature. Like it goes. It's so much beyond what I'm able to discuss here with my man's here, man. It's so much more. Like when I started getting into it, it's just so much information out there, so it's good to seek financial advice. It's good to sit with a lawyer, a financial planner. It's good to sit with these peoples that can explain, business structure, if it's LLC, relating to LLCs, and sitting with attorneys to explain to trust and things of that nature. Yep. Because you and wills or whatever the case may be, they'll be able to explain these things to you, so your legacy can live on. So when you pass, because we all got an expiration date on us, right? We all got to leave, and go to our maker. But when we all leave this earth, we definitely want to make sure we leave something for our next generation, so they can prosper and not do what we had to do or go through what we had to do. You know what I mean? Because I know, it's crazy how now is so much of the good stuff is being brought out, right? And as far as we having more entrepreneurs, more millionaires, and things of that nature going on. Because when I was growing up, we didn't have those stuff in school. But I don't want that to be the excuse, like, oh, we didn't have this, now we have it. Like, what we gonna do when we have it now? Facts. Like, we understand we didn't have it back then. I get it. True. We can talk about it, but we can't cry about spilled milk, right? Right. So what we gonna do from there? Right. We got the information now, so let's do what we got to do. Let's build on it. Let's do something. Let's stand on it. As a community or individuals, but definitely let's get to it. Let's get to the bag and in a healthy and positive way, and definitely make sure our seeds and our loved ones be able to reap those benefits when we're long and gone. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. Like I said, I'm not living for now. Like, I don't care what's going on now. I'm in my own lane. I'm my own man. Yep. At the end of the day, and I'm just doing what I see fits.
Gotcha.
For
so
sure.
yeah, that's all in a nutshell. you drop them? Hey. So I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Ain't no pressure, man. Of course we'll bring you back on. Probably next time you'll be able to interview with T.
Okay, that's what's up.
So yeah, I'm your boy DP. This my boy Marc-Land. This my brother Marc-Land.
For sure.
You get what I said?
For sure. This my guy.
Yeah. And we Gemini Gems. That's Geminis with the S, Gems with the Z. And what we do, we drop them gems.
That's what we doing.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
All right, y'all.